Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I wanted to show you this. New money, new world. Look at this.
The BRICS group is set to introduce a new currency backed by gold, in contrast to the credit-backed US dollar, with countries lining up to join the growing initiative.
The BRICS countries are planning to introduce a new trading currency which will be backed by gold. More and more countries recently expressed desire to join BRICS.
The decision comes a month ahead of scheduled Alliance Summit in Johannesburg, South Africa. 41 countries have since shown their interest in BRICS membership and its new currency implementation. Russia's foreign ministry has stated that if African states show enthusiasm, the group's expansion may also be on a Russia-Africa summit's agenda in the end of July. As of now, the BRICS group remains comprised of Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. Former Statistician General of South Africa, Pali Lehola, says the gold-backed currency will facilitate the advancement of developing countries.
Avoiding using the gold standard, we have gone for almost 45 years now, since 1980 when this was dropped. And we have seen the consequences, particularly of this to the developing countries, when the dollar was adopted as a standard and gold not as such. Yet against that, there's been accumulation of gold in the developing world. South Africa had a much stronger currency when the gold standard was still in force. By going the gold standard by many countries, that many African countries, of course, have, this will be of great benefit to strengthening the currency, the single currency that is backed by gold. It will facilitate development. Because after all, currency is the quantity of material things that societies have. If you use another currency based on material wealth or material things you don't have, it means that you are at the mercy of that country, and and they will charge commissions and the like.
It was always about gold. And I believe it was always about XRP and XLM too, which is why those two, I think right now, are the only two I own. That's also why Glint's my sponsor. Glint, you can the link's in the top of the description. Referral code DAIV50. I keep showing you this because it's over on the 14th of July. This is for new customers. Get 50% off vaulting and insurance fees for the next 12 months. Now, folks, I don't believe in coincidences. I don't think these things are coincidences. I'll tell you a few things that I've believed and told you for a long time. One is that Wall Street was always going to come in, and they've been trying to get ready, and that the pullbacks that we've seen were behind the scenes. They were accumulating. Those were their opportunities. I believe they knew. I believe Wall Street, Gary, and all their buddies knew that there was a window of time where the Wall Street people were going to be getting their custody ready and all the different things. And during that time, I believe they've been coming out, the Jamie Dimons of the world, and saying, oh, Bitcoin's poison and all that stuff, okay? So I think that this part of the things is all a stage. I think that they are now, they're now coming in, they've changed their mind. I don't think they ever changed their mind. I think they were always going to do it. I think that they were laughing. I think folks, write it down. This whole idea of, down with the banks and all, I think they have been laughing at you all along. And I'll show you a clip from XRP Darren in a minute that I totally agree with, where he's kind of floating the same idea. Watch this. This is yesterday.
So I do believe the role of crypto is it's digitizing gold in many ways. Instead of investing in gold as a hedge against inflation, a hedge against the onerous problems of any one country or the.
Write it down, folks. They are trying to steer the hordes away from gold. Write it down. They're trying to steer the hordes away from gold into Bitcoin. I've been saying it for over 5 years. This guy is not a dummy. These people know the real money, the real digital assets are going to be the ones with utility. This is for the hordes, what he's doing right here. Write it down.
Or the
I have walked into one of those what do you call them? The shipping containers. I was at the Bitcoin conference. I've walked into one of those shipping containers containing all this mining equipment, and I looked at one of my friends and I said, "Are you freaking kidding me? What is going on here?" I knew, everything in my gut knew that this was a staged joke. And to this day, I will not come off of it. I think Bitcoin is a staged thing. I think Tether's the same kind of thing. I'll show you something on that in a minute.
valuation of your currency, whatever country you're in. Let's be clear, Bitcoin is an international asset. It's not based on any one currency, and so it can represent an asset that people can play as an alternative. I would call the foundation of BlackRock is about hope. You invest for retirement because you believe tomorrow is better than today.
Now, they may let Bitcoin survive for the next 50 years, folks, and I do mean let. But with this move and these kind of moves, they will be. The irony is all these Bitcoins are down with the banks, down with the banks. Now they're all cheering that BlackRock, who is one of the largest financial institutions in the world, is now, come on, Bitcoin. And now they'll be able to really, if they ever really want to destroy it, they'll be able to do it through these vehicles. Now, watch this. Because this is him. These people aren't dumb. This is not a man who would not have been able to figure this out a few years ago, but he was saying this back then.
How much demand for money laundering there is in the world. I mean, that's all it is. I mean, it is just...
It's an index.
It's an index of money laundering. I mean, that's all it is. So I'll move on that.
Now, this is the clip from XRP Darren. This woman works for the Soros Fund. She's George Soros.
Just long held and simple norms about how you treat customer assets, for example. And what I think crypto is here to stay. I think what's happened is clearly a setback. But right now, I actually think it's a huge opportunity for the incumbent financial firms to actually take the lead.
The ones that are already regulated and run, for example, regulated exchanges.
Yeah, and know how to segregate client assets and yeah. So I think that is what's going to happen. On kind of
Wouldn't that be ironic, though, given the disruption that crypto promised?
Yeah, there is some irony to it, and I'm sure, yeah, it is ironic, but I think that is going to be the evolution.
According to Dawn, this SEC assault is a huge opportunity for the incumbents. When she says incumbent, she means the big banks. Notice that she gives Gary Gensler's argument almost verbatim. Exchanges are commingling funds and there's a need to segregate client assets. Well, the legacy banks, the incumbents, are already equipped to handle such tasks. There's a reason Gensler did a 180 from teaching blockchain at MIT to parroting the incumbents. This downturn in crypto is for them to make their move, to cause destruction and swoop in. They control the SEC. She laughs at the idea of an ironic outcome. They love inversions. Down with the banks. The freedom of decentralization is now going to merge with the centralized powers.
Folks, I'm telling you, run through it in your mind. And before I go through all this, run through it in your mind. Look at this. This was found by the official Cool Guy, the Digital Asset Investor channel yesterday. This is the Tether logo. But what I want you to see here, and I mean, it looks just like a nuclear explosion going off. Okay, folks? Like, as in, do they want to make it explode down the road? Do they want to blow it up? Folks, this is what's always never made any sense. There's so many things that never, and it wasn't like this. When I first came in, I was just like everybody else. I saw Bitcoin, I was like, yeah, maybe this is a new thing. And I think that's why they designed it that way. They wanted it to look like the government that designed Bitcoin wanted it to look like a libertarian movement. And remember that clip I showed you from Raoul Pal? He said he's always thought, and he said he's talked to people in the Department of Defense. He's always thought that Bitcoin was created by the NSA or one of those. Sorry, I didn't mean to say the three-letter agency. I don't say those on this channel. The government or a government, whatever. The question's why, and this is the thing, nobody in crypto, this is also why they have a controlled narrative in CoinDesk and all their different things. Think about it for a second. When this story is all over, people are going to be like, wow, why didn't we understand this? Think about it. We know Homeland Security met with the 4 Satoshis. Why have they wanted to pretend like it's a secret? Tether has they won't tell you whether it's got back dollar for dollar, and this has been a controversy for years, and yet the government doesn't go after it. You don't really know who's behind it. Does that make any sense to you? In your gut, does that make any sense? No. Then let's go on to Ethereum. Does it make any sense to you that our government, the SEC, none of them want to know who these disguised Joseph Lubin is literally on video describing what, if you and I did it, we'd be in jail. Why do the government doesn't want to know? The DOJ doesn't want to know. Sorry, another three-letter agent. The SEC does not want to know. They want to, we don't know. Well, I don't want to talk about a specific digital asset. They know it was born as a security. That Hinman more or less said it. They know, but they don't touch it. Everything that's shady, they don't go near. FTX, did they sue FTX before it was found out that Sam Bankman-Fried was running a fraud? No, they didn't do it. And now they have the gall to turn it back on. FTX 2.0. Does that make any sense to you? Meanwhile, while all of those things have been going on and all these shady and secret and all this stuff, I'm telling you, I've been here since 2013. In all of these, since the very beginning, there are only 2 that have never been anywhere near all the controversy. XRP and XLM. I've been here. Never anywhere near any of the controversy. Those 2 from the very beginning. Does that make any sense? Does it make any sense that they would sue Ripple, who's been completely transparent, but leave Ethereum alone, who's done all kinds of shady things and been and gone on YouTube to talk about it? Does that make any sense? No. This is why I buy XRP, XLM, and gold. They can have these people, and if they're doing, and this is my overall question, if BlackRock and all these people from Wall Street are doing all of this sleight of hand, and they want you, why do they want you in Bitcoin? Why do they want you in Ethereum and Bitcoin? Why is the sleight of hand pushing you there? My question is, where are they going? Where are they putting their money? I know that they're putting their money in Bitcoin and Ethereum once they crush the market with their comments and things, but where are they putting their money? Where are they really putting their money? That's my question. Let's not forget, Robbie Mitchell, where did he go after when he left Ripple? After doing the first valuation of XRP ever, the valuation model, he goes to BlackRock. Just in, crypto asset manager Valkyrie files for spot Bitcoin ETF, naming coin. And by the way, I want to make a point. Yesterday I bought XLM, okay? I've been through this, and I'm not a financial advisor. I'm telling you what I did. 2018, 2019, I was buying during all of that, and that was when they were telling you, we don't know if crypto is going to survive at all. This right here, for me, is a buying opportunity. Big time. Okay, then you got this. See, this is out of Japan. They're telling you, we can't let this industry die. These people know. They know exactly what's going on.
And then this topic is very timely and then also won't go away easily or quickly, because the crypto industry, has experienced several setbacks since the Bitcoin was launched in 2009 or 8, and then they always come back in new guise and also with new buzzwords like smart contract or atomic settlement or what have you. So global regulatory community cannot really just ignore or let the industry die down or burn out.
All right. And then we got this. Now, there's a lot of awkwardness on this stage. Nobody wants to bring up Hinman. ETHgate's real. They know it. Gary knows it. Lubin knows it. Hinman knows it. And Brian Quince knows it. Now, let me make sure you understand who these people are. The two guys I'm focusing on, Brian Quinton, I don't know how to say his last name, but anyway, this guy was at the CFTC. He was the chairman. He leaves, and where does he go? Andreessen Horowitz. He's one of Bill Hinman's buddies over there, I'm sure. All right. The other guy, let me see if you can see him. I can't remember if he's in the clip. That guy right there. Well, here's an old Jeremy Hogan tweet. That's Dan Berkowitz. He's the guy that was at the SEC, but he was having dinner and exchanging emails with Sam Bankman-Fried. So he was Gary's fall guy. On this stage, he's the only one that says, "Oh, we don't need any clarity. The SEC is doing a great job." Okay. But here, there's a lot of awkwardness because the subject of whether Ethereum's a security comes up. And his entire Andreessen Horowitz, the entire firm is so vested in Ethereum, and we know Andreessen Horowitz was involved in ETHgate. Now, let me give you a caveat. I think that this guy is one of the nice guys in crypto. I'm not trying to say anything bad about him. He's in a kind of situation, I'm sure, awkward situation, which is why it's awkward on this stage. But the Dan Berkowitz guy, on the other hand, I don't know.
But if ETH is a security, then the futures contracts that are trading right now on the CME by institutional investors are illegal, and they are violating the law. So either the SEC is not being forthright about what the law is, or they're refusing to enforce that view. So in my view, absent either of those two things, in an enforcement case that shows that distinction, that is an invalid view by the chair or anyone else that's saying it, and ETH is a non-security commodity that is not in the SEC's jurisdiction.
Do you guys have a thought? Right.
Ether is a commodity, has been since 2017, and there's a futures contract on it. And until the Securities Exchange Commission, until the Securities Exchange Commission were to say that Ether or something else is a security, it's legal to trade it on the CME. I don't think there's any legal uncertainty about the current trading of the futures contract on the CME. So what may develop in the future, what the SEC may do in the future, we'll just have to see.
All right. I want to make one other point about the Bitcoin ETF, by the way. If you really take a step back and you look at it, what I believe the plan for all these people all along, getting a freaking phone call. I believe the plan for all these guys all along. Hold on a second, I'm going to answer this phone call. Sorry, got interrupted by a call, but I'll complete that thought. I believe the plan all along has been through various sources. Maybe Michael Saylor would be one of those. Is that Wall Street and these guys are they're not worried about Bitcoin because they're cornering the market in Bitcoin, and thus they can control Bitcoin. That way they don't have to worry about all these libertarians run wild. But make no mistake, it's controlled. Breaking, Twitter Payments LLC just got its first money transmitters license, and right on cue, they cue Jim Cramer to say this.
I don't think they thought of Twitter. But in that I am being facetious, but I say game, set, match Zuckerberg, because he's really learned his lesson. He really understands that it does matter, that you want to be committed to the community. And Facebook is Instagram is a really terrific product. And Twitter is awful. And my kids were saying, like, why are you posting on Twitter? I said, well, it's free. I said, well, that's just great. The worst things in life are free.
Does that mean you're going to migrate? Are you going to move your content 100%. Delivery to Threads?
I'll put some Twitter in just because I'm a masochist who doesn't mind being hated, but that's been the way of most of my life since.
Right. So he's queued up. Then this is bizarre. This is something I don't understand. Is Cameron Winklevoss keeps tweeting out these things about Barry Silbert, and he's giving him his final offer and all this. And I'm sitting there, John Deaton had tweeted the other day something similar, and he's like, why don't you just sue them? Why do you keep trying? What I think they're doing here, Cameron Winklevoss, I think that they are trying to shame him into selling, because I think they're worried that if they sue him, that they'll never see their money again once that lawsuit gets filed. Now, here's Raoul Pal. I was listening to this clip from the Bankless YouTube channel yesterday. Listen to what he says about XRP.
You know, we've started to see the active addresses rising. We're starting to see activity rising, as we should be at this stage in the cycle, the crypto spring. We're starting to see people.
Now, first point of note, he's starting to mention crypto spring. This guy's connected. This guy's Goldman Sachs. This guy is Mike Novogratz' buddy. These guys know about all this, folks. They know how the manipulation works. They know all about it. When you start hearing them talk about this and you're seeing BlackRock coming in, get ready. I'm telling you, I've seen this movie several times now, where it's like the water goes out and then it comes back in, and I've learned as the older I've gotten, I've learned that these are the times I'm buying, when the blood is majorly in the streets. And I haven't seen it in the streets. Well, I take that back. 2018-19, the blood was really in the streets. And then this time, they're trying to convince you they're going to kill it. And then out of nowhere, somebody like Gary Gensler is going to do an about face once all of he and Elizabeth Warren are going to get the phone call from their puppet master, and they're going to say, okay, now we're ready for you to lighten up on regulation.
Hibernation, start exercising those muscles again, but we're not operating across everywhere. So we're seeing, you know, NFTs are dead as a doornail, but we're starting to see more activity in Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin's great because it has huge value transacted. ETH has a lot more transactions, but they're lower in economic value, just the nature of the chains. So this is really, and XRP, really interesting, is because it has very low value transactions, but a lot of them. They all work out, all of these work out roughly. It's fascinating. You know,
these are people who never talked about XRP. He knows. And then we got this from Ashley Prosper. Remember her Freedom of Information Act request that she put through to the, she wanted all communications between the SEC and JP Morgan. Well, turns out that she's gotten her response from the SEC, and unfortunately they've decided to withhold 201 out of 217 documents. So she's just now beginning her legal journey, because the SEC of the United States does not feel like they owe the people anything. And so she'll have to fight them for the next year, and then probably still not get anything. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family. Ashley Prosper's all over it. Thanks for listening.